This is a 12-minute daily core practice that is supportive throughout the cycle. You can use it as a standalone workout. It's just 12 minutes long, or you can add it to the end of another workout. Maybe you're splitting it where you do your strength training in the morning and then you want a little bit of core work before bed. This one is gentle enough, it's short enough that you can use it anytime. All you will need is a small exercise ball. If you don't have that at home, you can use any rolled up towel, a mat. You can even use a yoga block, something that's just going to give you a little bit of resistance that you can squeeze between the knees to cultivate that deep core and pelvic floor strength. So we'll get started here. Our first movement pattern is going to be down on the back. I will start our timer and we'll have 20 seconds to set up for our first movement pattern. You're going to take that block between the knees, squeeze it nice and tight, lower onto the back, and hug your heels toward your sitting bones. Let your arms rest by your sides, and we're moving through a bridge, and then we're coming into reverse tabletop. So we'll begin here in 2, 1, squeeze the ball, lift up into bridge, scoop the tailbone, lower all the way down, and then from the low belly, lift into reverse table. Press the feet down, lift and scoop the tail, lower, and hug that ball in. Keep squeezing the inner thighs, inner knees to the midline so that you have that tone, that tension all the way through. And then as you lift into reverse tabletop, I want you to think about shortening the gap between hip bones and low ribs. You've got a neutral low spine, so you're not really smashing it into the floor, but we're not letting the back arch as we lift the knees to that position over the hips. Use your breath here. So find that forceful exhale through pursed lips as you come through each phase of the movement. And if you've lost that squeeze, see if you can hug a little bit tighter onto that ball, that block, or your blanket. We're in each exercise for just a minute today, and lower down. And then we have a quick transition in between. So we'll come next onto the forearms. I want you to press firmly into those forearms, lift the knees to the chest so they're directly over the hips, and then you're going to squeeze that ball, let them lower to one side. Coil through the belly, come through center, squeeze the ball, lower to the other side. So I want you to focus on keeping your shoulders and spine nice and straight and allowing the pelvis now to rotate independent of the rib cage. This is one of the benefits of deep core work, is it helps us kind of articulate those two structures independently when they tend to become fixed or frozen together. And that limits not only our range of motion, but can be a source of discomfort, of lower back pain. So squeeze that ball, tone the low belly, and then let the knees gently rotate side to side. Should feel some heat in the inner thighs here. I'm going to keep drawing the navel down, pubic bone hugging up toward the navel. Shoulders stay relaxed. We're here for just a few more seconds. And then we'll switch to a bear plank position. You can take your ball with you. This one, shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees. Again, you're going to squeeze that ball or block between your knees, tuck the toes, and hover the knees. Just a touch. When you get that nice tone, you might have to step the feet closer together to get that squeeze, and then just straighten the legs and lower down. Here, I want you to fix the position of the arms and shoulders so that you're only moving the legs. You can have the feet as close as you need to. I want you to really feel not just the belly here, but the entire front body. So the quads, the hip flexors, low belly and pelvic floor, active and engaged. Keep squeezing into that object and straightening the legs. So again, your shoulders can stay right where they are. We're not moving into downward dog. We're just moving through that leg extension. Breathe in as you come down. Exhale to straighten. Back of the neck is nice and long. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Last few seconds. And come down. You can keep your ball for this one. You can slide it up a little bit higher so that it's between the inner thighs. You can really create that muscle tone. We're going to bring the hands behind the head here. Feet can be flat. I want you to Lower the sitting bones toward the heels as far as is comfortable for your knees, and then squeeze it up, squeeze that ball. Keep the chest nice and open, the spine nice and long. We lower down, come up, squeeze to the center. I want you to think not about tucking the tailbone under, but just creating that integration. So it's almost like it locks into that perfect position at the top. Squeeze that ball, come up and lower down. If the flexion is too much, you can always take out a little bit of the range of motion. You don't have to come all the way down. And you're just squeezing to the midline. This is our last exercise with the ball, so you can get ready to move it off to the side. Last few seconds, finish it strong. And then set that ball off to the side. We're going to come into a forearm puppy or tabletop, so the forearms are down. Hips are over the knees, and here it's going to be bird dog, but I want you to think of stretching the limbs in opposite directions. So reach, opposite arm, opposite leg, and don't worry about how high they go. I want you to focus more on lengthening in opposite directions and keeping the shoulders and hips even. So as you reach, you're not allowing the shoulders or the hips to dip and rotate, but we're using core stabilization. You should feel it to really straighten out and level out the shoulders and hips. As you do this, I want you to press down into the supporting forearm and the supporting shin. So you've got that stabilization from the ground that then allows you to radiate in the limbs that are lifting. Keep the toes pointed as you reach back. Stretch the fingertips in opposite directions. Last one here. And slowly come down. Next up, we're coming into a supported side plank. So one knee stays down, opposite leg comes out nice and straight. You can bring that hand or forearm to the mat. Your top arm is reaching overhead. You're going to bring the knee straight out in front of you to the elbow. Reach and extend. So here, coil through the belly without rounding in the shoulders. So you're not rounding the spine to meet the knee. You're lifting the spine all the way up to the chest. This can be a super slow movement. I want you to feel that change from radiating outward, kind of sending energy in both directions, and then pulling it back to the center. Remember, your knee is your hip, is in a neutral position. It's not opening up. Today, we're wanting to really target the transverse abdominis, those deeper layers of the core. Reach and extend. Just about 10 more seconds here, and then we'll switch. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And rest. We'll come up, quick exchange. Send that opposite leg out, bring one hand down. Top arm reaches overhead. So you've got that nice strong starting position with the side waist long. And then we hug the knee in. Reach and draw to the center. So similar to the previous exercise, we want to reach toes and fingertips away and then hug the energy to the belly. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Try to release a little bit of tension from that supporting wrist by pressing into the finger pads, alleviating any pressure there. And again, find the focus on your breath. Those strong exhales through pursed lips. That can really help you connect to that core contraction. Reach and pull in. Try to find the moving meditation quality. You can really drop into presence, into what's happening in your body. Come up. We're coming into our half kneeling position. So I'm going to start with my left leg forward. You've got 90-degree bends in both knees. Take your right hand to the inside, so opposite hand to the inside of that front knee. Other arm reaches forward. We're simply going to twist. As you twist, I want you to push that opposite hand into the inner knee. Push your knee back into your hand. You should feel a lot of activation in the inner thighs and the pelvic floor. And then we're twisting open. Again, here now we're articulating the rib cage independent from the hips. We're fixing the position of the pelvis. That's the stabilization force. And then we are rotating. Imagine a gentle touch, pressing that palm open. Reach it back and stretch. So again, here the shoulders stay relaxed. You're not leaning back away from that front knee. The shoulders float directly over the hips. Keep hugging that front knee into your hand, hand into that front leg. And rest. It's that equal and opposite action with the hand to knee that creates the deep core activation. It turns this from kind of just a spinal rotation to more of that deep core exercise. So we're going to switch sides here, hand to inner knee, and rotate open. Notice how it might feel different from one side to the other. Maybe one side feels a little bit more constrained. Maybe you can't rotate as far, or vice versa. Keep that connection, hand to knee, creating equal and opposite actions here. Use your exhale to facilitate that rotation. So as you inhale, you're creating space in the torso. Then as you exhale, you're rotating into that space. We've got 20 more seconds here. And then one final exercise, and you have finished your deep core work for today. So again, it's nothing too strenuous, but it's very intentional, very targeted. You should walk away feeling a little bit of heat in the low belly, maybe a little bit more support for your posture. It's easier to stand up straight after this type of core work. We're coming into bear knee taps next. So you're in your bear plank position. Knees are directly under the hips, shoulders over the wrists. We hover the knees. I want you to very slowly tap one knee with the opposite hand. This one doesn't look like a lot from the outside, but there is so much happening in the core. So we're not letting the hips rotate. We're not letting the shoulders rotate. We're hugging hip bones and low ribs towards each other, and we're stretching the crown of the head forward. Most of this core work from today's practice won't look like much from the outside, but I want you to experience that heat that comes from really waking up the deeper layers of the core and pelvic floor. Tap and release. I notice my hips twisting a little bit there, so really focus your awareness on keeping shoulders and hips in that same plane. They stay level and even. And rest. Slowly come out. You might enjoy a few rounds of cat and cow here. So just shining the sitting bones back as you inhale, rounding the spine as you exhale, softening the head towards the earth. Just take a few like that. And then gently step your feet to your hands. Bring your hands to your knees. So you're in your hinge position here. Again, just kind of releasing the lower back as needed. And then we'll slowly roll up to standing. Let's enjoy a side bend just to release those obliques. Inhale, reach. Exhale, one hand to your hip. Opposite arm reaches up and over. Lift up and out of the pelvis here on both sides. Enjoy an inhale through center. Let's take it to the other side. And then as you inhale, come up, reach your arms overhead. Just bring your hands to your low back, maybe peaceful fists here. And with a big inhale, lift up and stretch the front body. So really anchor down through the feet and then ripple up all the way through the spine, the heart, the chest, the crown. I want you to feel some length on the front body. Return those core muscles to their natural resting length. And then slowly let it go. Let's enjoy a huge breath in. Sigh it out, exhale. That is your core work for today. This is one of those practices that if you can incorporate it on a daily basis, you will start to feel the effects of that deep core and pelvic floor integration. Your lifts will feel stronger, your strength workouts will feel more accessible because you have the support of a strong core. So this is a great one to start to incorporate maybe a few times a week and then work up to more of a daily core practice. So I hope you're feeling that heat from the inside out. Thank you for being here and for letting your body be moved.